What's good, honey?
It is all good, baby.
It's great.
It's great. it's a great day for so many reasons, and it's been a great couple of weeks since we've caught up with the audience here.
Yeah, it's been a minute for sure, and obviously we are a different set here in our house.
Same set, different design, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You might be wondering why we're in this empty house, and at this point, we're actually I'm literally not even sure that we're allowed to be in this
The papers
house.
aren't signed officially.
We don't know that.
They said they were going to let us know.
So it's our closing day here at Weberville.
Yeah.
Also, the echo is insane in this room right now, and I don't think it's coming through on the mics because we tested.
Yeah.
But this echo is it's actually like a little distracting.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But
I got to keep my laugh at very low.
It is closing day for our Weberville house.
Mm-hmm. It's been a journey, and y'all have been along for it, so thank you for that.
Yeah, anybody who's followed along knows what a wild ride it's been for us the last year plus with our real estate endeavors. But we figured we actually wanted to do this show earlier in the week.
Yeah.
We loved the idea of doing it in the empty house, but the week has been really busy, and we'll get to why. But we eventually realized, hey, why don't we do it on closing day? It will actually be the last time that we're in this house, at least as its owners. At least, again, we think that we're still the owners of this house. We don't exactly know. At any moment, the new owner
that would be fun for camera.
She may sign her documents and come barging on in. She already has packages here. But this will literally be the last time that we're ever in this house.
Okay, now I'm going to get emotional. Why'd you
That's
say it
kind
like
of
that?
the point. That's why we wanted to do this, is because we wanted to see if any emotions or real conversations came up.
Okay.
But there's a lot. But with all listen, it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
We've wanted to have this thing sold for over a year, and this is a 15-month accumulation of an immense amount of stress and energy and headache and anger and sadness and panic.
Yeah, for sure.
At times, panic. And at the same time, the hardest, I've said in other episodes, dealing with our real estate situation is the hardest thing I have ever had to go through. Leaving my job, expecting one situation to be waiting for me, and kind of none of it actually panning out that way, and working through all of that has been something that I believe will probably be one of the hardest things that I ever have to go through, at least from a financial career, secular standpoint.
Yeah, because I mean, we thought when you left your job and we put the houses on the market, we're like, okay, yep, they're gonna sell, we'll be good, we'll be free of everything, and then it was just a ball and chain that we were stuck to, and so that's why it was so hard and draining, and we were having to make decisions based on what's happening with the houses, and it was just holding us back. Yeah, for sure.
And we've talked about even the seance, exorcism, ghost therapy, I guess, whatever we want to call it, that we did over at Holly a couple weeks ago. But there was a while where, and it's still true to some extent, where this show had become just a regular update of my real estate woes and what's going on with that. And I never wanted the show to really be about that. I wanted the show to be about us. And fortunately or unfortunately, the real estate has been a huge part of our life over the last year. It's been the biggest hang up for us in terms of moving on and doing what we want to do.
But I think it's kind of cool that we were able to track it all
no doubt
on video and our conversations and what was happening almost week to week, and the amount of times being under contract and it falling through. But I think we can start with the whole thing. Like a month ago, we basically got an offer.
Yep.
Because today's being a month out from close or a month out from the offer. We were in that option period for a week. Still didn't really feel like safe to say like, okay, we're good.
It didn't feel safe because like every it seems like the rug. It felt like the rug had been pulled out from us so many times before, whether it's on this house or on our Holly house.
But wasn't that the one we got for this just now? Wasn't that the first offer on this house? We haven't had an offer on this house. This is the first official offer.
Yeah. But we've had a lot of people like kicking the tires.
Yeah, but there was like the first one to like get under contract, go through the option period. But we learned our lesson with Holly.
We did have an offer. And then we like made a couple negotiations, and then he went on vacation, and then
yeah.
So like, what was your point? I'm sorry.
That like just kind of explain like the month that we've had with this. So like we go under contract, we go through our option period, and like we get out of that option period, and we're still like. I felt like we could. I didn't feel like easy yet. Like it was really about like 2 weeks
until I get the email from the title company. I'm still like not going to be 100% like confident in it.
We really I don't know what's the word to describe like kind of just feeling like the rug. I guess you said.
I'm certain that it's going to go through.
I would hope so at this point.
The chances of something falling through at the closing table are so minimal. But like, I also know that literally anything could happen. And as part of this entire process, I have learned to not set expectations and surrender to what will be and just control what I can control. So on one hand, I'm like, it's afternoon of the closing. They're supposed to be sitting down to sign soon if they haven't already. And it would be pretty wild if you walked in.
Let's just get through this.
We have a minimal studio setup. It's these two what do you call these? Like camping chairs. Yeah. We got the tripod and we have a light. So we came over here.
We can run out the back door.
Yeah, we could always pack up really quickly if we had to. The house is fully empty, fully cleaned. Everything is repaired. But yeah, like until that email comes through, like it is like we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, we went through. Then we went through the inspection, and we got like little things here and there. Nothing major, thankfully, with this house.
It's little things here and there, but like all the repairs add up, dude. They add up.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean add up? Like the cost
financially,
of it? Well, of course, yes. But it's nothing like the Holly house needing a structure.
No, it's
cute little lizard. Sorry.
It's nothing. It was nothing significant at all. But like, moving is expensive. Selling a house is more expensive than I thought selling a house would be. And moving is expensive. A couple weeks ago. So we'll get through like because our whole like rental process was a pretty wild month figuring out where we're going to end up here because we are going to be renting. I genuinely am like just so uninterested in being a homeowner at this point that like I don't know if I'll ever necessarily want to own again. Realistically, I'm pretty sure I will. I know at some point in the future I will, assuming that the system allows for us to own property because supposedly by 2030 we'll own nothing and be happy, and maybe if that's the case, so be it. But says the World Economic Forum. Yeah, basically. But
yeah, one of my girls at work was like just congratulating us on like closing and stuff, and she goes, "Do you think you'll ever like buy again?" And I'm like, I don't see it anytime soon. And the fact that I got an email the other day being like, "Hey, meet your house manager," blah 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 blah. I'm like, fuck yes, like. Hey, David, the lawn needs fixed. Come on over.
When you're renting, you get a lot more for your money. You don't have to deal with stuff like storms that blow through and blow branches or hail all over the place, which we'll get to that story. Already renting feels so much nicer. But I know we're gonna want to own property again in the future. Sure. We will certainly buy a house at some point in the future, maybe sooner than we think. But like, I am so happy to just not have to deal with it right now.
Same. Yeah. So I think once we again got through inspection, we're like, okay, we're good. Let's start looking, obviously, at this point for rental options. So Johnny, you've done great. You've done good.
Johnny Wells,
Johnny Wells.
From Revel Realty Group.
He grinds.
He's grinded. He's
put up with our shit.
Put up with my shit.
I say us, but
because I've been really I feel like I've been, I guess, I don't want to say unreasonable. I don't want to say that I've kept him on a short leash because that sounds like very domineering. But like I've just been on top of him,
of course,
and because I felt like I needed to make sure that I was getting the requisite level of urgency in certain situations. And as of today, I'm more than happy to say that we have chosen him because he was grinding his ass off. He was doing everything he can. He came up against a lot of really hard shit
for sure
in the process, and him and his team helped us navigate a lot of very tricky, very in some cases treacherous situations. So shout out to them.
My only gripe, we still have the for sale sign up.
Yeah. It still says for sale, even on closing day. She wanted that contract you wanted it under contract or sold so bad.
I've seen for sale for the past year and a half. I want people to know it's gone.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he sent us some great properties to go look at, and we stumbled upon the one we're in now.
There's a few things, which is there was a minute where I was like, yeah, actually, I guess you're right. We started with this current house.
Yeah.
We got sent a list of places. You also get so much more with your house for your money when you rent.
Sure.
So we found this awesome house.
And I think also I do want to say the houses that we're looking at are all houses that are for sale, but they're not moving. So people are converting them to be rentals because they're just sitting there.
Yep.
So that's what happened with the current house that we're in right now.
So we saw this house that we immediately out of the list of a dozen houses were that's the one we want to go see. When can we see it? And we were there an hour later.
Yep.
Walked in. It's on the other side of the airport, which I'm being so picky. I want to be in this side. I want to be in 78702.
I know.
Because this is the neighborhood we've been in as long as we've lived in Austin is 78, and the zip code is 78702. This side of airport is my home. It's my place. I love it. I feel like it's my area of town.
Sure.
I feel like I'm
I
the little king of this area, the short king of this area. And
the East Side Walker.
On the East Side, whatever. This is my zone, and I was a little hesitant, but we walked in the house and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's basically brand new, and it has a pool. Yep. And I really, really
beautiful backyard.
It's not in the most desirable neighborhood, and it is furnished, which is nice. Which means that we didn't have to move much of our stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
So we walked in there. We're like, okay, fine. Let's just figure out how we make this happen. And it turns out that we actually knew the owner and realtor, same person. Is the owner and the realtor are the same person of the house, which gave us a leg up in the process. And we had been communicating with her, and she basically was very excited to have us in the house, and we were excited to move in.
Yeah.
But within 2 days, we were like, well, we should at least go see what else is on the market. We shouldn't rush into a decision, especially because this house was it was on the high end of the price range that we were looking at, the very, very high end, meaning it was slightly outside of the price range that we were looking at. So we looked at a few other places, 3 places, I think, on that, 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
And one was whatever. 2 was eh.
Yeah.
And then the third one was, as soon as we walked onto the property, we were like, this is it.
I completely forgot about the other one, the one that we fell in love with a few days before. And we walked in and I was like, this is it. And you're like, really? I'm like, I love this one more than the other one.
Yeah. The only things that it didn't have a pool, which was the only red flag or the only X on my list of or unchecked box, I guess. But everything else about it is, it's just it just feels right. I love it. everything about it is like exactly what I'm looking for in a house. And the other thing is, like, as soon as I walked into it, because it is unfurnished, and just because it is so beautiful, I immediately had like a vision for like how I would set it up, how I would design it. Because as we've said, I am the decoration design guy in the relationship, which people always think is really funny. I knew exactly what it was going to look like and how we would use it for like our needs and our business needs, etc.
Like it has so much property in the front of the house, and then like the living space is beautiful. We'll give a tour of that house once we're in it and doing our podcast there. And then the backyard as well. And I mean, we both pictured like the events we want to host there. The cold plunge, the sauna, like all of it. And there's even potential space if a gym needed to maybe happen there.
Needed to do a gym there.
We'll have more update on that.
It has a rooftop deck that looks out at downtown, and there's like a park below, like a baseball field below it. So it's like unobstructed views of beautiful views of downtown. I'm like, I've always wanted that. I've always wanted a view of downtown. So I fell in love with it immediately, and it also is well within our price range. It was like right in the meat of like our price range. It's just perfect. So we're like, shit, okay, maybe we should see about this one. And the long and short of it is, once again, it was a house that was for sale. We were looking to rent it. They had some potential buyers that were like kicking the tires on potentially buying it, which made them drag their feet on our rental situation, understandably. But we were coming up to our close date here and needed to move out. So like,
this is 2 weeks ago.
We
had no place. We did not know where we were.
2 weeks as of today.
Yeah, I know. I remember
2 weeks as of like an hour from now, basically. I talked to her at 4.
We had no idea where we were living.
At that time, we were like, we love that house so much. Like, I would wait out these offers to see if like we get it, because I don't want to find a different place and get locked into a different place for the long term. So our neighbor on the B unit back here, he's like got Airbnb issues that literally just popped up. They couldn't get an Airbnb guest out of this house. The police were there a couple days ago. And I had to like be involved in like removing this person from the house and like making sure that everything was like not damaged for him. He's having all kinds of issues. So he was like, yo, if you guys need a spot to crash, like you guys can use the backspace.
We tossed around going back to Holly, but we didn't want to do that because then we want to show Holly and not move everything over there.
And like, there's not enough room for our stuff at Holly, which means that like, nor is there enough room for our stuff here, which means we'd have to get like a storage unit for like a month. Nothing really was an idea. Like, if we went to Holly, the reality, like, we would have brought our pots and pans, our supplements, and like a mattress to throw on the floor. And like probably a TV and like these chairs, just to like make it as seamless as possible, because it's a small house. It's like hard to move in and out of. So like nothing would have been like a good solution, but I was willing to do that to wait out this other place. If it came down to it.
And then one night we were sitting in the office figuring out options.
And I was so good about not like spiraling out on any one thing or getting too myopic or like committing to anything too quickly. I really feel like I was really proud of myself for genuinely like zooming out and like looking at the entire situation, going like, what options do we have here? And you were fantastic in that too, because it really was like a joint idea that started, like you kind of prompted it. And I was kind of already thinking it, and allowed me to like flesh out the full idea.
Because I think we were like, well, this idea, and we did just this conversation now, the pros and cons of the other options we had. And I think you were like, I think I'm going to go to Helen. And I was like, yes, I think we go to Helen. It's fully, sorry, what?
I wouldn't say Helen, but like, we're going to go to the lady that owns the first house that we really loved that had the pool, but just in a less desirable neighborhood. I'll also say this other house that we really loved is right in the neighborhood that we love too. And it's up on a hill, and it's awesome.
So I said, let's go to her. Let's like see what options are. And if anything, a few months there, it's fully furnished. There's a giant garage there. We can just put all of our shit there. And you were basically like right there on the same page with me. You were like, okay, I'm gonna call her tomorrow and like we'll set something up.
And I was shooting for like maybe she'll let us stay there for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, we got a pool for the summer, and then maybe we lock in the other house. But now like that also wasn't ideal because it's like, well, with that 14th Street house, first off we're going to be paying a lot for that house to stay there for an extended period of time. With the 14th Street house, like if this conversation with these like potential sales happen over the next couple of weeks, well, like then we're still locked into this other one for a few months. So like even our idea wasn't like perfect, but it was at least like some middle ground. Sure. And I had a conversation with the landlord of the house that we're in right now temporarily for just to like kind of run through ideas. And like I wasn't trying to like convince her of anything. She clearly wanted us in that house, which was really cool because she's like, it's a beautiful home, so she's particular about the people that she wanted in there. Yeah. She was like very happy. She said that like she thought God sent us to be in the place. And I basically was like, listen, like what would be ideal for us is this: if we were staying there for a few months, like of course we might extend at that point. Maybe we fall in love with the place and nothing else is available, but like we have a lot of things in play right now with the other house that still has to sell and the other project, which I'm going to, I guess, officially announce here. Mm-hmm. Not that it's officially happening, but we'll officially announce. And she was like, it doesn't really make sense for me to put you in there for like a couple months because like it's no benefit to me. I can get somebody in there for a year. But like if you could do 9 months, we were like going back and forth, and it really came down to it where it seemed like it wasn't going to happen. And I was just like, well, listen, like we literally have to make a decision on where we live in the next 24 hours, basically, to make this work for us. You're unfortunately, like, I can't say that you're our number one option right now because it just doesn't really make sense that way. But like, if there's anything that you could think of in the next 24 hours, like, please let us know because like we love the house. We would love to stay there at least temporarily. And we just can't like commit to the full year right now. And she's like, well, if you want to crash there for like a month, you could totally do that. And I was like, you mean it? And she's like, yeah, like you just for a month, and then like you're gonna love the place and you're gonna want to stay. And I was like, okay, well, I'll commit to that. I'm not even gonna talk to you. I was like, I'm not even talk to me. I'm not even gonna ask Katelyn. I will commit to that right now. And she was like, yeah, okay. So like, it's like the perfect situation. Mm-hmm. Like I was not going to ask for a month because that seemed unreasonable. Sure. I asked for like 2, 3, 4 months. And then she just like last minute, like offered it. I couldn't believe it. We jumped on it. So yes, we moved everything out of this house about, I don't know, a couple miles away.
No, it's not a couple miles.
Yeah, it's probably about 2 miles. Yeah, it's probably 2 or 3 miles.
Oh, okay. I did the drive like about 20 times. So.
To the new temporary place, the one that's beautiful. It has a pool. Mm-hmm. We love it.
Within 4 days of us signing though that month lease,
and it was like, of course, with the option to like continue after the single month. And we were thinking, we at that point we were kind of like, we're gonna fall in love with it. We're gonna stay, like, and we're gonna be here for the entire year. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like committing to that, but I kind of felt like that was probably what was going to happen. And then I think 3-4 days later, we heard back from the realtor at the other house, and they're like, they want to move forward with a lease.
Yep.
So we're in this house with the pool for a month. We're in Jersey for almost for a half a week. Yeah. And we get to like enjoy this house for essentially like 3 weeks or so. Basically 3 weeks before we move to the other one.
I described it, we're moving 2 times in 1 month.
Yeah, we're moving twice in a month.
But again, the house that we're in right now is fully furnished, so we didn't have to really unpack anything. Yeah. Everything's ready to go. We have our moving weekend already set up. Our lease at the other place starts at the end of this month, and it's great. Yeah. The only thing, like we talked about this before, because it's a beautiful house that we're in right now. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. But because it's not our stuff, because it's like it doesn't feel like when I'm heading home from work or I'm heading home from the gym, I don't feel like I'm going home. Like
Yeah.
it's a really weird feeling.
It feels like we're guests in somebody's house.
Yeah.
More so than staying there because it's not our stuff, and we know that we're like out in just a few weeks.
Yeah, and stuff is just all over the place. Like, I mean,
No,
in the
isn't.
sense of like, when normally things are unpacked in a way
Oh, yeah, of
and like
course,
that.
yeah.
So like,
The garage is
my
half the garage is like our shit, and then there's three. I think it's a 3-bedroom house plus an office. So I set up in the the open loft office space. There's 1 bedroom that's like pretty just like a regular guest
furnished,
bedroom.
Yeah.
And then 1 bedroom is
we close that door.
It's the room we do not speak of. It's like an absolute train wreck in there. We just keep the door shut and like we'll deal with it when it's time to move in a few weeks.
Boxes and chairs
and like stuff on hangers like thrown on the bed.
It's my nightmare.
I'm surprised we're even admitting it right now.
I mean, we tell them everything. I'll tell them that.
I know. But it's like your worst nightmare.
It's my worst
having
nightmare.
like a room of pure chaos, like hiding behind a door. You said it was like what
Monica's closet. If anyone knows the Friends episode, it's like Monica's closet. But yeah, like that's. I remember we were one of the days we were driving back and forth, like moving stuff over there, and I said, like, we cannot go not having 2 houses.
So yeah, like we literally have
like 4
access to 4 houses right now. We have this house. Well, we don't know if we actually have access to this, but we have this house. We have the Holly house. We have our the awesome, beautiful house with the pool that we're living in right now, and then we have
the 14th
Street house that is we're going to move into in July. And I just, again, like I'm balancing being really grateful for the house we're in right now with the future house, and I don't think it's like necessarily the kind of, to me, the 14th Street house is like exceptional.
Yeah.
And I'm super pumped about it. So those are some, again, like this should be the last real estate episode. So we're just gonna like
spin
I think,
on it. What else? I guess another fun little thing, because of course
we had our friend Lynn over for dinner last night, and she is just a few blocks from the house that we're staying in now, and she had a bunch of like flooding in her backyard.
I was just gonna bring up the storm. Like while we're going through all of this, and we're now within a week of the close, we had a horrific storm that blew through like Central and East Austin for 20 minutes. Trees were uprooted, fences down. People were getting like 1-inch hail balls.
I'll include some of the clips here of like
you
that
were
I took.
You were out on a walk.
I was
in
on
the gym.
A walk during that storm.
Yeah.
And it came in so fast. I'll tell my story, but like while it was coming in, I was like, that looks pretty rough.
Yeah.
I should be fine though. It's just it's just like
a
little. I was like, it's just a little rain.
I like texted you because I was in the gym. I was like, can you like find cover soon? Because something is like blowing in. Because it was beautiful. We walked to the gym. When you dropped me off at the gym, we walked to the gym. I went in. It was fine. And then like within 10 minutes of that, it was not.
You keep going. I'm just gonna make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, for sure. So you were on your walk, which you have to tell that story. But we come back to the house, and as we're walking, because then you pick me back up, and we're walking up to the house, and
we picked each other.
We picked each other up, and we're walking back to the house at this point, and it's beautiful and sunny. Like it was like almost like the storm didn't even happen. The sun was out. Besides, obviously, trees.
Gorgeous rainbow.
Yeah, gorgeous rainbow.
Is that a mosquito?
Oh, better not be.
The doors have been open in this house for 2 weeks.
So we are walking up to the house, and we're like, please, God, do not have anything wrong with the house. Everything's going to be fine. There's going to be no trees down. Because, I mean, the walk home, I was like, what is happening? Because it was alarming what was around us. And we walk up to the house, and there's like one little limb, like down in the backyard, like baby limb. Is it a mosquito on me?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it was totally fine and perfect. So we're like, oh, okay, we're good. And then a couple days later, Johnny calls us, and the buyers are, of course, concerned because of a massive storm that came through that there's hail damage.
And like there's again massive tree limbs down, entire big ass trees uprooted and falling over. A lot of clearly like fences and houses got damaged, and not in this area, but less than a mile away or a couple miles away, there was like tremendous hail, like crazy.
Like people
hail.
were like shoveling hail piles. So Johnny was like, well, the buyers want to have their roofer come over and check out if there's any hail damage because that could delay the opening or the closing. And this is Monday of this week, so 4 days ago. And we're like, well, there was no hail around the house. And he's like, well, there was a hail map and it showed within a mile of your house that hail dropped. And we're like,
he said 1 inch hail.
Yeah, 1 inch hail. And we're like, nope, like we didn't get any hail. Like I was like adamant about it. I'm like, we were home within 10 minutes of that storm, blah, 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 blah.
I was a half a mile that way. You were a half a mile that way. Yeah. There was no hail there. And then we were home within 15, 20 minutes and there was no hail anywhere. I was like, that's frustrating. Yeah. Just because it's like stressful.
Yeah, it's the Monday.
I literally did not let it bug me. No. I was just like, there was no hail. I know there was no hail. Yeah. They're not going to find shit. They're wasting their time.
And he's like, well, I'll have my guy come out if they do find something. But if you want, you just start a claim with like your home insurance. And I'm like, oh, this is not happening. And
like, I was literally like, I refuse that happens.
Yeah. And so we both say it to Johnny in like our own ways, but we're like, well, Johnny, like God has us. Like there was no hail damage. We're fine. Yeah. We're fine. And he's like, okay, like he like, I gotta take that.
Yeah, no, I was literally just like, God's got us.
We're like, God's on our side. We're fine. And he's like, okay, well, the roofer's coming over this evening to look at it. And we're like, all right. So then that night, the roofer came and looked. Obviously, no hail damage, like we said. And Johnny goes, well, it looks like God carved a hole for you in that storm. And we're like, yes, he did. Yes, he did. No damage.
So
and it was beautiful. But yeah, your story of the storm because you were stuck.
So I was on my walk as I normally am, and who knows, dancing or singing or screaming or beating my chest or something. And I knew I was feeling good. That's all I know. Is I was feeling really good. And the clouds. First off, I saw I saw the bird starting to fly away. I know what that means. And I just felt like that like pre-storm energy shift. And then like I kind of looked like
start turning up a little
out and over, and like sure enough, there's like those like pretty scary clouds rolling in. But I was still just like, it can't be that bad. I'm like, I'll be fine. Like it's just rain. Like I kept walking, and all of a sudden it started to drizzle, and I was like, shit. I'm still 20 minutes from home at least. 20, 30 minutes from home at least. Like I'll just have to bear through like the drizzle. But the weird thing is that it wasn't regular drizzle. It was like sideways drizzle. So like that was like more like
sideways rain.
It was like it wasn't normal. And like I could sense that this like wasn't normal. And then eventually it started to like rain a lot harder. I'm like, fuck, I have to start like running. So I started like jogging. And before I knew it, I turned like 2 corners, and the way the rain was coming down, and like it's been all over the news, like nationwide. So like people know how crazy it was at this point. It was like unlike anything I've ever seen, because at a certain point I was running down the street, which there's cars and stuff, but it was so windy and rainy that I couldn't see more than like a few feet in front of me. And I'm running and I'm soaked head to toe at this point. Yeah. And like I have rain in my eye and I can't see anything. So I was like, oh, this actually like probably is dangerous at this point. And the wind is insane. And the way the trees are shaking, I know that like limbs are flying all over the place. I didn't see like a lot coming down, but I was kind of like, I shouldn't be out here. And like, especially if like lightning starts happening, which there was never any lightning or thunder.
None of that.
But I was like, I should get out of here. So I was running. I'm like completely soaked. I'm like running through massive puddles. And the first place
where did you find coverage?
I could find shelter, of course, is at Pershing, but not the Pershing house, the coffee shop. Give me a second.
I think I'm getting bit.
I think I am too. There's mosquitoes in this house. We also had a garage sale a couple weeks ago, and like people have been like in and out of this house, and movers have been in and out of the house.
It's a big one too.
We had a really fun garage sale, actually.
Oh, we had a great garage sale.
It was like a party.
It was so fun.
I'm
watching this thing.
Keep an eye on it.
Oh, I am. All right, tell where you found refuge.
I found refuge in this like structure that's behind the Persian coffee shop. It's like this largely dilapidated, I don't know, looks like a shed almost with like 3 walls, and it's kind of open, and like telephone poles are kind of holding up this fairly dilapidated roof. But on the other side, it's like a fully fleshed out wall with this cool ass fan, like a warehouse kind of fan, and there's all this like cool foliage and vines and flowers that kind of like hang over the outside. And I was like hiding in there, and the while I'm in there, I was like supposed to be talking to Jay. So I'm trying to call him, but I can't even. Am I getting bit?
I don't think so. Dude. Flying around you. I am definitely bit though. Like, my God, that guy. Did I get him?
You're usually better than this.
What'd you say?
You're usually better at killing
I know.
mosquitoes.
Okay, back to your story before I get eaten alive.
I went and I found refuge in that shed thing. I don't even know what to call it. And I was supposed to call Jay, but I was so wet that I couldn't even like get the phone to work. Basically, I had my brand new Beats Pro like studio things in, and they were soaking wet. And I was calling him, and I was talking to him. I could barely even hear him because the wind and the rain was so insane. And I was trying to like FaceTime him because like you will not believe like what I'm in right now. This is like the wildest storm I've ever seen. I'm like outside, kind of like in like fairly exposed still because the roof has holes in it.
And like the wind is blowing, and like the rain's not just coming down. Again, it's sideways, so it's like blowing every way.
And we couldn't get the FaceTime to work, and he was like, "All right, like we'll talk later then." And then the next day, he was like, "That storm you were in, like he was visiting his brother in Atlanta, and he's like, that storm you were in, like I saw it on the news, like it actually sounds like it was really bad." I was like, I wasn't joking, like it was scary. It felt like it went in the water parks where there's those big troughs that like fill with water, and then they kind of like all dump at once. That's what it looked like outside. It didn't look like raindrops. It was like buckets of water being like
clouds just
dump
unleashed.
trucks of water.
Yeah.
And with the wind, it was crazy too. And so I like stayed there, and it like protected me from the storm. And at a certain point, I was like filming myself because I was like, I gotta like get this. And I finally got my camera to work. And just as I was getting my camera to work, there was like sun on me that I could see. And I was like, where's the sun coming from? And you know, like, there's no sun. It's raining and it's windy. And I turn around, and through that fan is the sun all the way west, shining through the fan, shining like onto me, which felt really cool because
I was going to say, so why does that feel so special in that space?
The reason why that feels so cool is because I've been kind of hinting over the last, or like outright saying over the last couple months that I've been working on a project. And I'm not saying that this is confirmed yet. It's not, but it's close enough that I'm willing to like talk about it on the podcast at this point, which is that we're members at Pershing. We talk about the Pershing all the time. Like it's a place that is not only home. Like I say, it's our home that's not so far away from home because it's only a few blocks away. But between the Pershing house that has the food and the drinks and the parties and all that stuff, and the coffee shop, which I spend most of my time at, and has kind of been another thing that I've talked about a lot throughout the course of the podcast is like the time that I spend at that coffee shop. I have all my meetings there. I do a lot of like work there. I co-work with people there. I've been spending a lot of time there. Their coffee shop, they several months ago, or maybe late last year, they were talking about expanding it and making it more than just a coffee shop, but like some shops and maybe some like wellness stuff, and making it more of a place that like not just Pershing members, but the general public from the neighborhood can kind of congregate.
Yeah.
And it could be more of a daytime public wellness focused spot as opposed to the nighttime party pleasure thing that they have across the street.
And one of their other things was that being just a coffee shop in the workspace. So like the workspace was for members only. The coffee shop is for the town or for the neighborhood. But after 6 o'clock, the coffee shop is closed. And so like that's not doing any type of business or revenue for them. Get it? It's their day.
I really try not to kill bugs.
But mosquitoes are a different thing.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to get out of the house.
No, you're not.
I am. I'm going to give you an opportunity to get out of the house.
Well, he's not following you anymore. Is he on me?
5.
Where
I'm
is
going to give it 10 seconds to get out of the house. If
If
it
you
doesn't
let
get out of the
another
house,
thing
then I'm going
in.
to kill it.
Where is it?
Or you could just vacate. All right. You had your time. I will kill you if it comes down to it. I've
Okay.
made up my mind.
You've chosen your path.
That's
Mosquito.
how I like to handle stuff like that. This way it's like, if it was meant to be, it will be. So they wanted to turn into more of a daytime thing, and they already had somebody who was going to, or is potentially going to be doing like sauna, cold plunge, maybe even like something not too far off from like Kuya or like bathe over there in that area. And they were hinting at potentially having some sort of a fitness center or a gym. And when that was discussed, they came to me in private. So we're sort of like, hey, like if this happens, we wanted to talk to you about it. We'll see, like, you know, as things go, like as we start to make traction, like we'll hit you up about it. I was like, okay, that sounds perfect. I would love to do something like that. What makes it even more interesting is that it's literally like on the same straight shot street as where the original gym was supposed to be. So
that's the other side.
It's literally like just on the other, like the other gym was 2 blocks in this direction from our house. Pershing is 2 blocks in that direction from our house. So I was like, okay, that's really interesting. Yeah, I'm very interested. And time went by and there was like chit chat about it, but nothing was really happening. And then a few months ago, probably like February or March, I was like, I brought it up and I was like, what's the deal with that? Like, are we going to do this or what? And that kind of started a ongoing conversation, more serious conversation about what it would take to make that happen, what it might look like, all the various like options that we have there. And eventually I got to their owner, who was into the idea, although there were still just so many questions to be answered. And he pretty much put me on the like task of answering those questions. And I put some incredible pro forma together and a business plan and a bunch of other things that I was really proud of. And then I'm not going to go into
GCs over there.
Yeah, I got GCs over there to look at it and tell me what it would be. I got an architect to draw up a really simple plan and a schematic so that we can see what it might look like, price it all out, make sure I understand like everything, and then understand how would it make revenue for them. Because if they're going to build it, like at the time, it was kind of like they were thinking about it. And they wanted to see how they would make their money back. And there were things that I liked about that idea. There was things I didn't like about that idea because like my job is not to, at this point, my goal is not to just like run a gym or to even necessarily own a gym and operate it as a like revenue driving business. My coaching business, our coaching businesses are going well enough that it's like, that's where I want to focus on. But having a facility allows us to do events. It allows us to drive a lot more value for our local
have our clients go there. Exactly.
It allows us to have a side in-person personal training business, but like operating a full-fledged like personal training operation where I have employees and stuff like that wasn't, at this point, I'm a little bit removed from that concept. Not to say I wouldn't do it, but like it would take some convincing for me to get there, or like I'd have to make sense of it. So eventually, when I had my second meeting with him, I was like, how interested are you in making this happen? And he said that he was like, you know, he's like, I think it's interesting. There's just things that need to be answered. And I was like, then like the pro forma is probably not the thing that's going to like make or break this. Cause like any pro forma I give you is going to look good. Like I wouldn't be talking to you if it didn't look good. I'm like, let's like reduce the level of complexity on this for you and make it so that like you have less skin in the game. All I want to do is like, here's what I want. Here's what you want. What if I just invest in this, build the gym for you? It's an improvement to your property. And like, I get to have some stake in the thing and I get to use it as my own. And as time goes on with your members, we can offer them bespoke one-on-one personal training. We could offer them free sessions and then potentially upsell them to ongoing in-person packages. We can get other trainers in here. It doesn't have to happen like, oh, we don't have to stand up a business overnight. Now we can kind of see where the market is, and you don't have to feel like obligated to make fast money-making decisions. We could just like let it build organically. And he was like, oh yeah, like that's the idea. Like we should be doing that. And of course, because I'm basically just like handing him money and building something for him and not really asking much in return aside from like maybe a little bit of a cut and to be able to use the space as my own.
Yeah.
And we left like that. He had to go back and talk to like the other people and owners there and investors and whatnot. And as of, so flash forward, he was like gone for a week traveling, and I knew that it was going to kind of be slow going at that point to get like to a real answer. But the night of that storm, that was on a Wednesday, I had my third meeting with him that following morning. And to me, that sun shining through, that fan onto my face after that storm, or really almost like in the middle of the storm. I have a pretty cool video of it. I'll put it here.
Yeah.
Shining right directly through it, right onto me, right where I was standing, was like God being like, yo, this is your arc.
Yeah.
This is your arc that you're going to be building, and like you're going to.
And then there was a rainbow on the walk home.
And then on my way home, I actually, while I was in the thing, I'd be like, it'd be pretty tight if I saw a rainbow after all this, like really like putting the final like stamp on it. And of course, sure enough, on the way home, like there was a rainbow. I posted it on Instagram. I'll post that here too.
Yeah. All you needed was a dove with, what did the dove come with?
A
fig
branch,
or the olive branch
or something, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was an olive branch.
So that was really cool. And then on the way home, all those branches are down.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking like, oh shit, but what about the house? And of course there was nothing wrong with the house, and then the hail didn't happen. So when we were like, it's cool, Johnny, God's got us. Like, I know that there wasn't hail. And then he texted, roof is all good. Looks like God put a hole in the storm for you. I was like, I know he did.
Yeah, of course he did.
I know he did. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So we're in a place now where in the next month we will have, and then I should say,
yeah, the other big news that happened this week as
we did our move, which of course is exhausting.
Yep.
We're really appreciating and enjoying the house that we're in right now.
About to have a fun pool party.
We're about to go and have a pool party over there with a bunch of friends to celebrate not just being in the house, but take advantage of the pool and obviously celebrate this closing. But we have even better news, because even though yesterday we signed the documents for this closing is officially today. Yesterday morning, we also went under contract at our Holly house too, and it's a 3-week close.
Yep.
It's the first week of June right now, which means that by July 1, we will have closed on, in this month, we will have closed on Weberville. We will have closed on Holly.
Yep.
We will have been in this one beautiful house that we manifested. We'll be in another beautiful house that we manifested.
Yep.
And by the end of this week, or by the end of this month, I think that we will be a go on the gym at Pershing.
Yeah, because you have another meeting set up with him.
Because I met with Kip that following day, right after the storm, and he basically was like, we want to do this. I mean, essentially what he was saying is he's a thumbs up on it. There's just some dust that has to settle and things that they have to work through. And he would say, let's get moving on it now. But he knows that you want to start when things are fairly, you don't want to start something when like there's a lot of other questions to be answered. We need to he has some things on his end unrelated to me that have to kind of be squared away. And he said that he would have clarity on all of that by the end of June. So
it's a big month.
We were in a serious chaos period for a while there. I can't remember if we mentioned that on the last episode.
I don't think so, because I don't even know when we did the last episode, because our last episode was in studio with Christy, the hypnotist. So like before that, I don't think so. I think we were still like maybe in what's it called? Like that week of
it was like, well, it's been kind of chaotic, but the last like month or two with the move and like things are like breaking around here, and like we've been spending money like fucking crazy to like on all
Joy is acting up.
everything is like everything was going really like haywire.
Yeah.
Genuinely everything was like all over the place.
Yeah.
Nothing was orderly. Random things were happening. It felt like the matrix code was just like kind of glitching like crazy. And my goal was just like, I'm going to stay focused.
Yeah.
I am going to stay ordered. I'm going to let all of this chaos happen. In fact, in many ways, I'm going to embrace it and have fun with it and enjoy it for what it is and like go along for the ride when it makes sense to. But like, I'm staying centered. I'm letting all of this chaos happen around me. And I am just going to, as it comes within grip, I'm going to grab it. The things that I want, that I want to be ordered from this chaos, as it comes around within reach, I'm just going to grab it. I'm just going to put it here. I'm going to sit here still, wait for the next piece to come around. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to put it there. And now I'm like making order of all of that chaos. And like the way that these Tetris pieces are falling into place over the next month is like shaping up to be like, I don't know.
Like a dream state?
A dream, and exactly like it should.
Yeah.
It's shaping up to be exactly how it should.
Yeah. It's when we were going through, especially like we were deep in the chaos, and we had the conversation of saying how old us would have been in that situation. Yeah. Like 5 years ago, like we would have been short-tempered,
sure,
fighting, having an argument about stupid shit. But we just like I said, we stayed grounded, we stayed present. We were completely a team and partnership through like the entire thing. When we noticed like one's getting a little worked up or getting a little emotional, we pulled each other back in.
Yeah. And
like I'm just so thankful for
and again, like that. In certain ways, like we embrace the chaos. Like a garage sale is pure chaos because you're grabbing all these things from like various times of your life and like parts of your life, and you're like putting them on display for other people, and the craziest people in the world come and start grabbing at it, and it's like the pricing doesn't even make sense. It's just what I realize is like at a garage sale, you put the price that it is of value to you, but that price is completely irrelevant to the other person and their value. So like something that's $5 to you is like a gold mine to them, and of course like another person's trash is another person's treasure. But like the price component in particular, the entire thing is like chaos, and like I knew that, and we were just like, well, rather than like take this really seriously and try to like make as much money as possible with the garage sale, which is like still going to be what, a few $100, like maybe, we're like, let's make this fun. We want to get rid of this stuff. If we make money, great. Let's like try to just enjoy it for what it is. Because the memory of the garage sale, we've never done a garage sale in our adult life. Yeah. So like the memory of the garage sale will be more than the money that we make from it could ever be. Mm-hmm. So like that's what I mean by like when it comes to some of the chaos, just like embracing it, having fun with it, and not trying to like put too much seriousness into something that like there's no use in being serious, because there was enough other things to like keep our serious brain occupied. It was like have fun where we can. Yep, for sure. So that's where we're at now, and we are just at an hour. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else we wanted to hit on, right? No. Those are like all the big updates. Do we have an email? Oh yeah, let's see. Do we have to get out of this house? Because once that email comes through, we're like definitely not supposed to be here. No, she just says she just received our photos. Cool. Okay. All right, well then we should get out while we still can. Yeah, true. This house has been a massive transformational home for us. We moved in here as one set of people, and we've left as another set of people. We've started the podcast in this house, in the office upstairs, actually, our first episodes. I came up with the idea for the gym initially here. My beautiful plants are some of my most favorite parts of this house. And this is the yard where I pretty much started smoking weed while I would water my plants and plant my plants. And these guys were there for a lot of like the breakthroughs that I had, not just for myself, but for my business and how I was going to make this all work. And let me see. And we've launched our brand here. We had our first True Fitness workout.
Yeah.
At least the brunch that followed, we had that here. We had our
Fast
first
Fest.
Fast Fest here.
First and second.
And
We've changed here.
We changed here, and it holds a very special place in our heart. So, and the house knows, because I've been very vocal about it, that the stress that we've had over the last year and a half around the house is not about the house itself. We love this house. It means a lot to us. It means a lot at a very important time of our life. And honestly, the challenge that it represented now moving forward will be something that I will hold dear as a time where like my sword was sharpened more than I could have ever had anticipated. It would never have been as sharpened in terms of my understanding of myself, understanding of how I react to stressful situations, understanding how to look fear in the eye and stare it down and just keep doing the thing that you know is right, even when like everything is like seeming like it couldn't go worse.
Yeah.
It's because of the lessons that like this house taught me. So lots of love in here, and leaving it with tons of love and nothing but. Do you have anything you'd like to say? You're tearing up right now.
Yes, I am.
You're allowed to.
I know. You said it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Now we have to go to our pool party and celebrate some big wins. Love y'all. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Bye for
in
now.
the next house.
Yeah.
And then the next house. Boom, 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 boom.